Great to have you. My name is Jonathan Kanwanaho. I'm the Managing Director at Jonaki Holdings Limited. We always look forward to serving you, and you can always check us out at www.jonakiholdings.com. So I'm here to share with you our today's topic, which is, how do you appropriate your net profit, especially in money lending. There are many businesses that are running and they are making net profit. How they appropriate their net profit determines of whether they will grow or not. Determines of whether they will have branches or not. Determines of whether they will progress or not. But more so if you're running a money lending business. So I'm going to go specific. Why? Because Jonaki Holdings Limited is a money lending company. So we lend money, we give credit. And that's why I tailor my talks on money lending. So when you are making some money as net profit, what do you do with the money? As the owner of the business, and I'll share my experience, as the owner of the business, you get tempted to use company money thinking that it is your money. All the time, not even some of the time, all the time, that business money is not your money. Though it is you who started that business, you don't own that business, you're just stewarding it. And I mentioned this in detail in my previous talk. You don't own that business. So you ought to run that business as a steward. So if you do not work on yourself, separate yourself from the business, if you do not work out a modality on how your net profit is appropriated, you'll end up dipping your hands in your business, dipping your hands on the account of your business. And before you know it, that business will be going down the drain. I learned in one of the sessions, straight for financial growth, that if you're picking money as and when from your business and you're using it for your personal use, you're actually a thief. That's a word that describes you. Why? Because you're stealing from the business. Because ideally, you're meant to be separate from your business. And until you separate yourself from the business, then you'll keep stealing from your business. So you're meant to put a shield, you're meant to know how the net profit that you're making is appropriated, is broken down, is distributed. So that you even can cater for yourself, so that you can shield yourself from the business. Because look, I struggled a lot for a long time to run Jonaki Holdings Limited. And it reached a moment it became profitable. So, and there are also desires that I have at a personal level or at a family level. I could be having desires of owning a very nice car. I could be having desires of, owning a home, a nice home. How do I acquire all these things? I need to acquire those things from the net profit that I'm getting from the business, the net profit. Because if I don't work out a modality, I will ultimately touch on the principle, the portfolio of the business to go and buy these things. Let me go specific on the 5 key accounts from the book that I read called Profit First. You need to read it. Go and look it out. It will help you a lot. So I highlighted 5 accounts. I learned 5 accounts. The first account is tithing. Tithing. So from your net profit, the first thing you should think about is 10% has to go to the owner of the business. Because you're not the owner of the business. Someone owns that business, and it is the Lord. So you need to understand it. So tithe is non-negotiable. It's not 5%, 3%, it's 10%. That has to go from your net profit. Secondly, you as the owner of the business, the owner's compensation. You as the owner of the business, because you've toiled, you've grown that business. Beyond salary and allowances that you get from the business, you need to give yourself a compensation. Because probably the salary you're earning from the business might not be enough to meet the desires that you have, but also to pay for the sweat that you put in to start that business. So you need owner's compensation. For us, we do 20%. So 20% of the net profit goes to owner's compensation. Because me as the owner, I have to be compensated for starting that business and for stewarding it well. Because now, if it's profitable, that means I'm stewarding it well. So I need to reward myself and my family. So that is 20%. Because if I don't do this thing, I'll end up dipping my hands in the business. I'm just formalizing it. Because then if I keep dipping my hands in the business, I will not have a particular percentage or a particular fraction. And before you know it, I have actually put my company down, or I have closed my company. Why? Because I don't have the money to lend out. Because I'm a financial institution. So you could be having a business as well, but you need capital to run the business. So you need to appropriate owner's compensation, 20%. The other account is that the business ultimately has to grow. If I pose the question to you, by what percentage does your business grow by annually? Can you specifically tell me both the percentage and the amount? If you can, then good for you. But most of the guys might not be able to answer this question. Why? Because they're not succinct, they're not clear of how much it is that they are investing in the business. But at Jonaki, we agreed, even with management and the board, and say, you know what, 60% of the net profit goes back to grow the business. Now, kindly note that these percentages, you can play around with them based on the level you're at. Based on the level you're at, apart from the tithe, the 10%. The rest you can play around with them. So for us, we reinvest 60%. That goes back to the business. Because I can actually tell you by how much, percentage-wise and money-wise, by how much we invested in Jonaki. And I can be certain that, annually we are growing by this percentage. Because we are very clear. And kindly note that these accounts are separate. They are really bank accounts. And the money has to move. Previously, I did Excel. I'd move numbers in Excel, but money would not move on the accounts. So I encourage you, if you're going to apply this principle profit first, you need to open the bank accounts and the money has to actually move. So 60% we reinvest it back to Jonaki. And that keeps on the company account. Then we can actually even lend it out. And I can know by how much our loan portfolio is growing by. The other account that is very, very key, that we hold in high regard, is the charity, the giving. Because we are blessed to be a blessing. We are blessed to be a blessing. We are making profits so that we can be a blessing to the world. So we are blessed by God's grace that we have some children that we sponsor. We have some charity activities that we do. Now we don't pick company money and do charities. That will still be theft. Whether we are doing a charity thing or a good thing or what, if you don't do it a formal way, if you don't document it, if it's not clear and structured, you're stealing from the business, even if you're doing charity. So you have a particular percentage, and that percentage is 7%. Now, as I noted above, is that you can play around with this percentage. So 7% of the net profit goes to charity. Does all those obligations. And it actually has a separate account. The money has to actually move. The last account that we have is the taxman. Guess what? You give to God what belongs to God and to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So a taxman is recognized, because if you don't honor them, if you don't recognize them, they'll make themselves recognizable. And by the time they make themselves recognizable in your business, it might call for the closure of that business. If you're not in good books with them, it might call for the closure of that business. So you need to budget for them. You need to plan for them. So 3% of our net profit goes to the taxman. It has to move every month to a particular bank. And as and when we are filing our returns, we actually get to pay this taxman. Those are the 5 accounts. Kindly note that you can have as many, and the book even recommends 7 of them, but we thought for starters, those 5 ones, if you make them succinct, they will enable you to grow, they will enable you to progress, they will enable you to put a line between you and your business. They will make a clear line. They will shield you, protect yourself from your business, because before you know it, you're going to close your business, because you're going to divert the money. You're going to steal from your business. So do yourself a favor. The net profit that you're making, subject it to profit first. Those 5 accounts have to be separate, and the money has to move from the company account to all those accounts I've highlighted. That's when you can actually sustainably grow, but also shield yourself from your business. And that's when it can ably grow. And that's when you're able to work on your business as a CEO, as the MD, but not work in your business. Because you're meant to give your business the strategic angle, the strategic view, the ego view, than the person who is working in the business. There is someone usually who is qualified to work in the business. He's an accountant, he's a professional valuer, he's a professional relations officer. You're meant to do your role as a CEO or as the owner of the business. See you in my next video. Kindly like, comment, and reach us out. We love you. Check us out always on www.jonakiholdings.com. Blessings upon blessings. Thank you.